Good evening and welcome to X Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University for tonight's fourth and final game on day number 2 of this 90th annual NBC World Series. Tonight's final game has a local team of mostly recent high school graduates, the Air Capital Flyers, against one of the real mainstays in this historic tournament, the Hayes Larks. My name is Steve Strain, and welcome in to a Friday night of baseball from X Stadium. You cannot get more opposite in terms of the history of these two teams, as the Hayes Larks back at this tournament again, one of the winningest organizations in the history of the NBC. This is their 39th appearance in this tournament, and Hayes has won 119 games and dropped just 74 in their 38 trips to the NBC. They are 6-time runners-up in this tournament, most recently a couple of years ago, as they are under the direction of legendary head coach Frank Leo, and he has put together quite a team again, a team that has outstanding athletes playing a high level of college baseball all across the country. And when I say that you can't get any more opposite in terms of the history of these two teams, the other side of the spectrum is the Air Capital Flyers, who again, with the exception of just a couple of players, all recent high school graduates. This is the first appearance in the NBC for the Air Capital team, as they won the NBC Hap Dumont High School qualifier earlier this year, and that's what gets them into this tournament. The team that did that last year was the SC Blues, and they went winless in pool play, so a little bit of pride for Air Capital to try to outdo SC, but it again will not be easy against this Hayes Larks squad. Air Capital is the visiting team, so they will bat first. Let's run down their starting lineup. Jack Martins will lead off. He's at shortstop. Carson Humphreys bats second. He's the center fielder. Batting third, Justin Zerger. Zerger is in right field. Luke Youngdahl hits cleanup, and he's the first baseman. Batting fifth, Peyton White. White is at third base. Max Brown bats sixth. Brown is in left field. Batting seventh, Brooks Allen. Allen is the designated hitter tonight for Air Capital. Cannon Cole hits eighth, and he's behind the plate. Batting ninth, Drew Torgerson. Torgerson is at second base. And pitching for Air Capital tonight, at least starting, is Zach Brink. Again, the lineup for Air Capital: Martins, Humphreys, Zerger, Youngdahl, White, Brown, Allen, Cole, and Torgerson, with Zach Brink on the mound. Let's run down the starting lineups now for the Hayes Larks. Caden Ashton leads off. He'll be in center field. He'll be followed by right fielder Caleb Duncan. Wilbert Espinal bats third. He's the designated hitter. Garrett Gruhl bats fourth, and he's at first base. Thomas Lissy hits fifth, and he's at third base. He'll be followed by catcher Houston Russell, who bats sixth. Will Carpenter will hit seventh. He's at second base. Batting eighth, Tabor Stokes. Stokes is the shortstop. Trent Baker bats ninth, and Baker is in left field. Pitching tonight for Hayes is Blake Lembeck. So again, the lineup for the Larks: Ashton, Duncan, Espinal, Gruhl, Lissy, Russell, Carpenter, Stokes, and Baker. And that is the starting lineup for the Hayes Larks tonight, who have Blake Lembeck on the hill, and he is out there right now, and you're getting a good look at him. He is en route to the University of Arizona after he pitched at New Mexico last season. Lembeck is 6'2", 225 pounds, out of Tucson, Arizona, and he pitched collegiately at New Mexico most recently, and he is obviously going to potentially pose quite a problem for these young hitters of Air Capital. Very talented hitters, no question about it, but they've got at the hands now, going from the high school level, what they're used to seeing, to a Division I pitcher. Lembeck this past season at New Mexico, I beg your pardon, I said he's en route to Arizona. He pitched in New Mexico last season, and he looks like he's slated to do that this year. But Lembeck pitched in 2 games this past season is all, and not much work, so all of his numbers, not a very good sample size. He pitched in 2 games and only lasted 2 innings. But we will give you more of his numbers as we move on throughout the evening. You can hear a loud crowd here tonight because this Air Capital team, again, does have some local flavor. Lembeck is ready. Here's the first pitch to Jack Martins, and Martins takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. as we are underway at 8:40 Central Time, and a perfect night for baseball. 85 degrees and just an 8-mile-an-hour wind out of the south. That'll be from right field to left. The pitch, and that one misses outside, and quickly Lembeck has fallen behind in the count. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Jack Martins, the shortstop. The pitch swung on and missed. That one at 85 miles an hour. It's 2-1. A lot of red on the field tonight. Both teams wearing red jerseys. The only real difference is Hayes is wearing gray pants and Air Capital is wearing white pants. Otherwise, these two teams might be hard to distinguish. The pitch in there, it's taken. It's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jack Martins is out of Wichita, Mays South High School. Graduated this past year. Here's the pitch. It's taken. It's a strike. Strike 3, and down goes Martins. So a nice job by Lembeck, who fell down on the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Then he delivers 3 straight strikes in a row. So a good start for him. 1 batter, 1 strikeout. And now here's Carson Humphreys, the center fielder. We have not seen Lembeck hit above 90 yet. The first pitch here is a changeup at 84, cut on and missed by Humphreys. It's 0-1. Carson Humphreys from Great Bend, Kansas. And he is still in high school. He just wrapped up his junior year of high school. The pitch, and that one is a strike as well. It's 0-2. So this guy has not even played a pitch as a senior in high school batting. Humphreys. The pitch, it's taken, it's a strike. Strike 3, and down he goes. Well, we mentioned that these young Air Capital hitters might have their hands full, and Lembeck has caught 2 looking so far. 2 up, 2 down. So that'll get Justin Zerger, the right fielder, up to the plate. The first pitch, and tight for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Blake Lembeck works exclusively from the stretch. There is nobody on, obviously, 2 outs, but he's a righty that works from the stretch. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back over the press box. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Zerger. Again, just 2 innings of work for Lembeck at New Mexico this past season. He did give up 6 hits in those 2 innings. 0-1, the pitch. That one down and in, that's ball 2, and the count's now 2 balls and a strike. The Santa Barbara Foresters won the game prior to this one, 2-0. Another legendary team in this tournament, off to a good start. The pitch chopped at the plate, foul, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. So deuces are wild, 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the first inning of a scoreless game. Air Capital, the youngsters, against the veteran Hayes Larks. The pitch, changeup, and that stays up high. That one just floated in at 78, but it never really came down. It was above the letters. And the count's now full at 3-2. Luke Youngdahl waits on deck for Air Capital. The 3-2 pitch, ripped into right field, slicing toward the line. Caleb Duncan is over, sliding toward the line. He makes a nice catch, sliding feet first as he crossed the line in right field, and that ends a 1-2-3 top half of the first for Air Capital. Good start for Blake Lembeck. After half an inning, Air Capital 0. Hayes coming up. The 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
I'm bougie. I'm like $7 bougie.
The all-new $7 deal lovers menu at Pizza Hut. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
Because it's only a deal if you love it.
No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Well, the Air Capital Flyers went 1-2-3 in the top half of the first inning, so now Hayes gets their crack, and they're looking at left-hander Zach Brink going through some final warm-up tosses for Air Capital. He's a lefty out of Lenexa, Kansas, and Olathe Northwest High School, where he graduated in 2021, and he is amidst his career up the road at Fort Hays State. So ironically, he's going to college in Hays, Kansas, but not playing for the Larks. But probably no coincidence that he's going up against these Larks. Perhaps he's quite familiar with a lot of their players. And he is the veteran Brink on this Air Capital team, and it's not really close. I mentioned that this Air Capital team is made up almost exclusively of kids who just graduated high school this year. Well, the oldest player on the team is Zach Brink. He graduated in 2021. Everybody else on this team graduates in 2024 or later, to give you an idea of how young this team is. So Brink, who's just a few years into college, is the old man on this team. He's going to get the start, and the lefty works from the stretch. He'll face Caden Ashton first, the center fielder, and the first pitch to Ashton is a fastball at 89, taken for a strike, 0-1. So there's a good start for Zach Brink, the lefty out of Olathe for Air Capital. Again, he also likes to work from the stretch exclusively. The 0-1, and that one taken for a strike. That one with a little bend on it at the end, and the slider in for a strike. It's 0-2. Caden Ashton attending the University of Kansas out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma. He's down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So Brink gets the sign from his catcher, Cannon Cole, and the pitch swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. And the count is still no balls and 2 strikes. Again, an 8-mile-an-hour wind is all. It's a very breezy night compared to last night when there was absolutely no wind, but the flag in right field is blowing out toward left field, a south to north wind, the prevailing wind here in Wichita, and we'll see if it comes into play, but probably not a whole lot at that rate. It'll have to pick up some. The pitch swung on, chopped at the plate over toward the first base coach's box, and the count is still 0-2. Frank Leo does not coach a base for the Hays Larks. He has in the past, but this season he missed a good part of the end of the season attending the College World Series, had a grandson playing in it. And so he has left those responsibilities to his assistants. Keith Harper, Andy Luton, and Ben Tanias are the assistants for this Hays team. 0-2, and the pitch swung on and fouled at the plate, and it was held on to by the catcher, Cannon Cole. So a good start for Zach Brink as he gets his strikeout swinging to start the bottom half of inning number 1. Well, that's just what this Air Capital team needed after going 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. A little boost, though, from their pitcher, Zach Brink, to get a strikeout to start the bottom half of inning number 1. And now here's right fielder Caleb Duncan up there from the right side of the plate. Hovering over the plate is Duncan. Through the stretch goes Brink, and the first pitch is upstairs for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The Hays Larks finished second in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League this season, but helped them, though, earn a berth in this tournament for the 39th time. The 1-0 outside, and it counts now 2 balls and no strikes. The Larks played in this tournament last year. They played 4 games. They split them, going 2-2. 2 balls and no strikes here. The count to Caleb Duncan, and the pitch swung on, missed at an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 with nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the first inning of a scoreless game. Brink stretches and delivers, and that one in tight, and it hit him. That came in right around the left elbow or arm area, and Duncan takes one for the team. He'll take off the armor and head down to first base as he's hit by a pitch. Looking at it again, he's got protective shield around his left elbow and upper arm, and that's right where he took that pitch, and no question about it. And so he'll go down to first base. Runner at first, one away, and here's Wilbert Espinal now, the designated hitter for Hayes. He's a left-handed hitter, and so Brink will stretch with the runner on for the first time tonight, and he'll throw this one way in tight. That one almost hit Espinal. Almost hit batsman on back-to-back pitches. It's a ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Caden Ashton, the leadoff hitter, a lefty. And 2 batters later, Espinal is as well. So the left-handed pitcher, Brink, facing 2 lefties so far in the first 3 batters. Here's the 1-0, and that one down and away at 85 miles an hour. The count is 2 balls and no strikes to Espinal. Wilbert Espinal from Austell, Georgia. This Hayes team has players from all across the country. He's playing collegiately at Alabama State. The pitch in tight, it's a ball. And so Brink has fallen behind the count now, 3 balls and no strikes. This Hayes team does not have a single player that is originally from the state of Kansas. 3 balls and no strikes on the pitch. And that's a fastball that stays up high just above the letters, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued to Wilbert Espinal, and Zach Brink, after a leadoff strikeout, is all of a sudden in a little bit of trouble. First and second with 1 out for the cleanup hitter, Garrett Gruel. And it's not just that he's allowed the last 2 hitters to reach, but it's how he's done it. He's gotten very wild. He hit Caleb Duncan and then issues Espinal a 4-pitch walk. That's not what you want to do to get to the cleanup hitter, Garrett Gruel. Gruel is from Groesbeck, Texas. Up there from the right side of the plate. Wide open stance. Through this stretch goes Brink, and the pitch swung on and a bouncing ball back to the mound. This could be 2. He'll throw to second for 1, and it's wild, and it gets away. It's going to head on into center field. That's going to score a run. Unearned at that, but nonetheless, Hayes has taken a 1-0 lead on a play that very easily could have been a 1-6-3 double play on the one-hopper right back to Brink. He whipped around to second, but threw it low, and it skipped on into center field. That allowed Caleb Duncan to score, Espinal down to third, and Gruel reaches. And boy, when you are the Air Capital Flyers, a young team against this experienced and talented Hayes team, you can ill afford to give away 3 runs like that, and they just did. And so runners at first and third now with still only 1 out. Here's Thomas Lissy, the third baseman, and the pitch to Lissy. Fastball outside at 87, 1 ball and no strikes to the left-handed hitter. You will hear experts say that that is a harder play than you realize for pitchers, though. Sometimes, as accurate as a pitcher can be, to turn around and throw to second, especially if starting a double play, can be harder than what it looks. The pitch misses outside. That one is a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes, and all of a sudden, Brink is falling behind in hitters after issuing a leadoff strikeout to Caden Ashton. 2-0. He'll check the runner at first. And he'll look again. And the pitch. And Lissy thought about it, holds off, and it's a good thing for him that he did. It's a ball outside, and the count's now 3-0. Zach Brink now treading in some very dangerous waters here, down in the count 3-0. He's in danger of loading the bases. Here's the 3-0 pitch, way high, ball 4. That one not close. Boy, things have turned quickly for Zach Brink. He looked so sharp out of the gate with that leadoff strikeout, but since then, a hit batter, a walk, and then there was the bouncing ball that turned into an error, and that was an error on the pitcher, Brink, and now another walk, and they are loaded just like that for Air Capital. Ian Smith is the head coach for Air Capital. Charles Wise and Matt Doherty are assistants, and there's a conversation right now with one of the coaches for Air Capital and all of the infielders, and Zach Brink, being the leader that he is, and again the most experienced player on this team by a couple of years, just patted himself on the chest as he looked around to the infielders and said, "This is my bad. This is my fault," acknowledging that poor throw to second base was all on him. Air Capital could have easily been out of this inning with a 1-6-3 double play had his throw been on the mark. Instead, they're in a world of potential trouble now. But another ground ball could potentially get Air Capital out of this inning with only the 1 run scored. They're loaded. Here's Houston Russell, the catcher. From the stretch, Brink. Nobody holding the runners on the pitch. And that one across at the letters. It's 1 ball and no strikes. I don't think Russell liked that call. Looked like he thought it might have been high. But the count is 0-1. Houston Russell from Oklahoma City, attending Purdue University. So you've got a Big Ten guy up there right now, down on the count 0-1. The pitch, that one inside, and a nice job behind the plate by Cannon Cole, the catcher, sliding to his left and blocking that one, keeping it from getting away and keeping potentially a run from scoring. And the other 2 runners to advance as well. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Russell. Right-handed hitter. His right back foot is right over that back line of the batter's box. Through the stretch goes Brink, and the pitch. Swung on and a bouncing ball to the mound. He'll throw to home for 1, over to first. There's a double play, a 1-2-3 double play. And Brink's toss to the plate was on the money that time. And indeed, Air Capital escapes, only giving up 1 unearned run in the inning. And Hayes leaves them loaded after 1. Larks 1, Air Capital 0 at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
With Butler having such a small class size, everybody had a voice in the classroom. Everybody was able to participate. To this day, there are students that I took classes with 10 years ago that I could pick up the phone and call. That's how much the community at Butler has affected the way I even do my business today. When I went to another college to try it out, I was just a number. They didn't even know my name. Butler's class sizes are smaller. That's where you get that community feel. And cost-wise, a lot cheaper.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Well, for as sloppy as that bottom of the first inning was defensively and on the mound for the Air Capital Flyers, it could have been much, much worse as Zach Brink worked out of quite a jam after a throwing error by him on the mound that could have potentially started a double play, led to a run. He then issued another walk to load the bases, but then a 1-hopper right back to Brink turned into a 1-2-3 double play. Pitcher to home to first, and Brink got out of the jam, and now right back up is the Air Capital Flyers trying to get something going against the left-handed pitcher for the Hayes Larks, Blake Lembeck. It'll be Luke Youngdahl who will lead things off for Air Capital. Youngdahl, Peyton White, and Max Brown, 4, 5, and 6 for Air Capital, down by a score of just 1-0. But again, could have been much worse. So Youngdahl steps in, big right-handed hitter in the first pitch. And that one misses for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Lembeck ready and delivers. And that one is in at 84. And it's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Youngdahl is from Wichita, and he also attended Mays South High School, like Jack Martin's the leadoff hitter for this team. A ball and a strike to the right-handed hitter, and the pitch. That one's in there for a strike. It's 1-2. Boy, you know that this Air Capital team has to be fired up. Playing in this ballpark with all the history of Wichita State baseball, and then playing in this historic tournament as well. Here's the pitch, and an off speed, and that one misses. Boy, it was close, but the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then the experience of getting to hit against accomplished pitchers like Blake Lembeck, who is playing for the University of New Mexico. The pitch swung on, fouled, back to the screen. And the count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 our score. Hayes with the lead. Top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. That one a slider that stays down and away. That one never had a chance of crossing the plate. It started off outside from the beginning, and the count's now full at 3-2. So Air Capital looking for their first base runner of the game. A full count payoff pitch here, and strike 3 called, and Youngdahl knew it as he was frozen in his tracks, perhaps looking fastball, but it looked like that one was a slider that feathered in there. Let's look at the replay. Now, it may have been a changeup. I think he still took something off, but nonetheless, Youngdahl down looking. And that's his strikeout. Second strikeout of the game for Lembeck, and both of them batters caught looking. Here's Peyton White, the third baseman. He takes his strike, 0-1. And boy, is Blake Lembeck tossing some strikes consistently now. He's got 3 strikeouts and 4 batters faced. The pitch swung on. This one is driven high and deep to left field. Trent Baker going back. He's going to have to play this one off the carom of the wall. It hits the base of the wall, and down to second base goes Peyton White. And listen to this local crowd as Peyton White gives one a ride off the bottom of the wall and left for a 1-out double. Well, he got every bit of that one, and in fact, as we watch the replay, you can see a little dent in the padding he made as that one hit a little imprint as it hit at the bottom of the wall. Bounced back toward the infield, and Peyton White easily into second base with a 1-out double. So here's Max Brown now, the left fielder. As Lembeck will stretch and look back at second, nobody holding the runner on, and the pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. We should mention X Stadium is a symmetrical ballpark, 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, and 390 feet to straightaway center field. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch. That one misses. Close, but perhaps low, and it's 2-0. That ball that White hit was about halfway between the 330 and the 375 signs. So probably around 355 feet away from home plate he hit it. The pitch swung on and missed, and that one was outside the zone. And the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Max Brown, the left fielder for Air Capital. He's another kid from Wichita. Goddard Eisenhower High School, just graduated a few months ago. The pitch down and away, 3-1. Goddard actually a few miles to the west of Wichita. And he will be attending Drury University in Missouri. Will Max Brown, the right-handed hitter, up there now for Air Capital with a runner in scoring position. Peyton White out at second base. Lembeck stretches. He won't even look at second, and the throw is home. And it's down low, ball 4. And down to first base goes Max Brown. Well, you wonder if that double play turned by Air Capital really got them fired up when they came to the plate in the top of the second inning, because I certainly know the crowd that's here for Air Capital was fired up after that 1-2-3 inning double play. And now, after a leadoff strikeout to Luke Youngdahl, the Air Capital Flyers have had a ringing double to left and a walk, and that's going to create a conversation out on the hill with one of the coaches for Hayes and the entire infield before Brooks Allen will step up to the plate. I mentioned earlier the Santa Barbara Foresters won earlier today. It was the game prior to this one. They knocked off the GPS Legends 2-0. Hayesville over Seattle's Blackfins by a 3-1 score. That was the 3 o'clock game. And the first game of the day had Lone Star Baseball knocking off the local team, the Kansas Cannons, by the score of 2-1. How about these low-scoring games we've seen so far? Last night, the Seattle Studs knocked off Tulsa Sandlot 9-0. That game ended via the mercy rule in the 8th inning. And it was the Hutch Monarchs 5 and TPA Texas 2 yesterday. That was the first game of this tournament. First and second here, one away for Brooks Allen, a left-handed hitter, and the first pitch to him is taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Allen is the designated hitter for this Air Capital team. out of nearby Andover, Kansas, a suburb just to the east of Wichita. And Allen is up from the left side of the plate, hovering right over the plate at the back part of the batter's box he is. Here's the pitch, and that one just missed away, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. Peyton White, the runner at second, he doubled with 1 out. Max Brown followed with a walk. So those the 2 base runners. Hayes looks for a double play with 1 out and 2 on, and the pitch swung on and fouled back to the netting. And the count's now 1-2 strikes to Brooks Allen. Allen uncommitted as to his college baseball career as of yet, after recently wrapping up his high school career just a couple of months ago. 2 strikes. Lembeck will stretch, check the runner at second, and throw home. And the pitch is low for a ball. And the count is level, 2 strikes. 1-0 Hayes, but Air Capital's Flyers threatening here in the top of the second inning with runners at first and second and 1 away. Lembeck stretches, looks at second, the throw is home. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, or actually it was fouled at the plate. I beg your pardon. So staying alive just barely is Brooks Allen. As that one just trickled away from Houston Russell behind the plate. Garrett Gruel is the first baseman for Hayes. Will Carpenter's at second. Tabor Stokes is at short. Thomas Lissy is over at third. The outfield from left to right, Trent Baker, Caden Ashton, and Caleb Duncan. And that's the Hayes Lark defense. And here's the pitch outside for a ball. A fastball at 86 missed away, and the count is now full at 3-2. And so now Blake Lembeck is in danger of loading the bases as well. One more ball, and he will do just that. He'll look at second. Here comes the 3-2 pitch home. Swung on and a bouncer out toward short. This could be 2. He'll step on the bag for 1 and fire to first for a 6-3 double play started by Tabor Stokes. And that is that for Air Capital. After they had something brewing, a 6-3 double play will kill it. No runs for Air Capital and a hit, and they'll leave 1. And after 1.5, it's Hayes 1, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it. Because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Ready for the bottom of the second inning from X Stadium in Wichita. The Hayes Larks on top of the Air Capital Flyers by the score of 1-0, and it'll be Will Carpenter, the second baseman, that'll lead off for Hayes. The Larks sent 6 to the plate in the bottom of the first inning, so it's Carpenter, Tabor Stokes, and Trent Baker, 7, 8, and 9, the bottom 3 in the order here in the bottom half of inning number 2, and a 1-0 Hayes lead. And the first pitch to Will Carpenter is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1 from Zach Brink, the lefty, who got into and out of danger. And a lot of that on both sides, the good and the bad, his own doing. Here's the 0-1, and that one is down low. He had a throwing error on a potential double play bouncing ball when he threw to second base to try to turn 2. That did allow a run to score, an unearned run. But then he started a 1-2-3 double play to finish the inning. 2 balls and a strike here to Will Carpenter, and the pitch. And that one misses, and the count is now 3-1. Again, just a picture-perfect night for baseball in Wichita. Temperature at the start of this game was 85 degrees, a light breeze out of the south from right to left field. Frank Leo is out of the dugout for Hayes. I don't know what he's arguing about, but he's having some words with the home plate umpire, who actually took the mask off and went over and chatted with him briefly. Here's the 3-1 pitch, swung on and chopped foul in between the first base coach's box and the bag at first base. These bags at the NBC World Series, red, white, and blue. So a very patriotic theme with the bases here at the NBC. Good crowd tonight, especially considering the Air Capital Flyers are playing, and they naturally are going to turn out a lot of locals. Here's the pitch, swung on and driven into right field. That's down for a base hit. A soft little liner between first and second, and Will Carpenter a leadoff single to start things off for Hayes here in the bottom of the second inning. And that is the first hit of the ball game for the Larks. It's interesting because in the first inning they had 4 straight hitters reach base, but there were a few walks and a hit batsman and then an error, so that is base hit number 1 for Hayes. Here's Tabor Stokes, the shortstop, from the right side of the plate. And the first pitch to him swung on, and a hot shot, one hopper to short. Fielded by Martins, underhand toss to second in time. A throw to first is as well. A 6-4-3. What a job by Martins at short. That was a rocket right at him. He went down to a knee, scooped up the short hop, and then an underhand toss to second. And then the relay to first was in time as well. Boy, that was well done. Boy, you've got to wonder what the exit velocity on that shot was by Stokes, and Martins made it look very easy for a 6-4-3. Here's Trent Baker now with nobody on and 2 outs, and the first pitch to him. Outside, it's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, that is a situation where, with the pressure that you know has to be on this Air Capital team, you could understandably see maybe some shaky fielding, but not at all by Martins. That was well done. The pitch in there, it's a strike, and the count is even to Trent Baker, the left fielder. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trent Baker from Montgomery, Texas, attending Lamar University, which is in Beaumont, Texas. 1-1. And the pitch, that went inside. If you missed it earlier, I mentioned that this Hayes team has no players who were originally from the state of Kansas. They do have a handful of players playing collegiately in the state of Kansas, but none of them went to high school there. 2-1, and the pitch up high, and the count's now 3 balls and a strike. They've got a pitcher, does Hayes, Luke Terbeek, who is playing at Fort Hays State. They've got a Kansas and Wichita State tandem, Caden Ashton and Caleb Duncan, playing for those 2 schools respectively. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count now, as it's run full to Trent Baker after a ball. So this is the payoff pitch to Baker with nobody on and 2 outs. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Baker, and a big fist pump that time by Zach Brink as he faces the minimum in spite of the fact that he gave up a leadoff single thanks to a double play. After 2, Hayes 1, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Whether you're preparing a perfect meal, getting people back on the road, protecting online privacy, or supporting your patient's health, you want to be the best professional in your field. At Butler Community College, our focus is getting you the highly specialized and versatile training needed to start your career in as little as a year. Our classroom experiences are fine-tuned by industry professionals. You will launch into the workforce with the confidence and skills to make you stand out from the rest. Butler Community College. Real college. Really affordable.
On to the 3rd inning we go from X Stadium in Wichita. 1-0, Hayes with the lead. And it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in this top of the 3rd for Air Capital, and that means Cannon Cole will lead things off for the Air Capital Flyers, making their first ever appearance in this 90th NBC World Series. What a thrill it's got to be for those guys as kids in this town grow up who love baseball and play baseball going to the NBC World Series. Of course, for so long it was at Lawrence Dumont Stadium downtown. It switched over here to X Stadium at Wichita State. First pitch to Cannon Cole, down low for a ball, 1-0. And now here these guys are playing in it. Cannon Cole is one of those locals on this Air Capital team. A swing and a miss there. And the count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cannon Cole, the catcher for this Air Capital team. He's a Wichita kid from East High School, and he's heading to Coffeyville Community College down in southeastern Kansas. The pitch down and away, a slider missed at 70. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch, something taken off, a change, swung on and missed as Cole was way out in front of that one. And the count is now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Hayes, top of the 3rd inning. An unearned run for the Larks in the bottom of the 1st. The pitch he's taking, and that one they will appeal, and he did not go around, did Cannon Cole, as he was fooled on another off-speed pitch, but he laid off, and the count's now full at 3-2. The stretch in the pitch, and that one inside for a ball. So Cannon Cole draws the leadoff walk. That's the second walk issued by Blake Lembeck, and that'll put the leadoff hitter aboard for Air Capital here in the top of the 3rd inning. Not only is that a leadoff walk, but to start each of the first 2 innings, Lembeck had struck out the hitter looking. So quite a turn of events there as he issues a leadoff walk here in the 3rd. First pitch to Drew Torgerson, cut on and fouled straight back to the screen. And the count is 0-1. Torgerson also out of nearby Andover, Kansas, as are a handful of his teammates up there from the right side of the plate. Lembeck will stretch, look over his left shoulder at first. The pitch, a slider in there for his strike, and it's 0-2 as Lembeck is quickly ahead in the count. Each team with a hit, but the run for Hayes, the only of the game, thanks to the only error of the game that was committed by Air Capital. The pitch, strike 3 called as Torgerson caught looking as he was fooled on that one, and down he goes. That's the 4th strikeout for Blake Lembeck, and interestingly enough, all of his 4 strikeouts were hitters caught looking. So 1 away, and back to the top of the order we go with Jack Martins, the shortstop. He was the first strikeout looking for Lembeck back in the 1st inning. And he takes down low, does Martins here, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. We'll start at noon tomorrow with the Boulder Collegians and the San Diego Stars. A ball and no strikes, and the pitch. Swung on and a bouncing ball on 2 hops to 3rd. This could be 2 to 2nd for 1. Over to 1st, a double play. Started by Lissy, and that is the 3rd double play of this game. 5-4-3 go the Air Capital Flyers on the bouncing ball double play there. And after 2.5, the score remains Hayes 1, Air Capital 0 at the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
At Davis Moore, we make sure there's something for everyone at each of our locations. We stock vehicles spanning almost every make and model. We're confident you will find exactly what you're looking for. Every vehicle on our lot has passed our 171-point inspection to ensure safety and reliability. Customer service is our top priority, and our friendly and expert staff will guide you through the process every step of the way. Come shop Wichita's best selection of used cars at any one of our locations, or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
Well, how about the defense we've seen in this one so far, as we've watched 3 twin killings so far in this contest, and we've only played 2.5 innings. We're ready now for the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the score still Hayes 1 and the Air Capital Flyers 0. And out on the hill for the 3rd inning for the Air Capital Flyers is going to be Zach Brink, as he did quite a job in the last part of the bottom of the 1st inning, and then got a double play in the 2nd inning as well. So his Air Capital team has turned 2 double plays tonight. To start the bottom of the 3rd inning, he'll have to face the top part of the order for Hayes as Caden Ashton, the center fielder, the leadoff hitter in the order for Hayes, also bats first here in the bottom of the third inning. So it's Ashton, Duncan, and Espinal, 1, 2, and 3 to start the bottom of the third. And the first pitch from the lefty Brink out of the stretch to Ashton, and it's down and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Caden Ashton out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, down near Tulsa. During the regular season, he hit very well for Hayes, .384 in 99 at-bats. The 1-0 swung on and lifted foul. That's going to be well over the dugout on the third base side and out of play. So the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. As a team, Hayes hit .352 during the regular season of Rocky Mountain League play. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch inside, that's a ball. And the count is now 2-1. Caden Ashton during this season, in addition to his .364 average, had a homer and 13 runs batted in. 2 balls and a strike, the pitch swung on and a high bouncing ball over towards second. Charging in is Torgerson. He'll field and throw to first, and that throw gets away from the first baseman Yarborough, and safe at first base is going to be the speedy Ashton. Well, that took a couple of high hops, but on this all artificial surface you still have time, but it looked like maybe the footing of Torgerson got tangled up as he threw the ball. The exchange looked clean, but it actually looks like maybe he got his cleats caught in this artificial surface, and that caused him to throw the ball on a bounce to first base. And safe at first base is Ashton to lead off the bottom of the third. Here's Caleb Duncan now. And the first pitch to Duncan, swung on and fouled back out of play. X Stadium is all artificial surface. If you're watching the game on YouTube, or if you've ever seen this ballpark before and noticed that the infield and the area around the plate, well, it looks like dirt. It's not. That is brown artificial surface, and it's that way throughout this field. Anything that's normally dirt is brown artificial turf. Here's the 0-1 to Duncan, and this one is fouled back, and the count is 0-2. Some ballparks have an artificial surface infield, but the pitcher's mound is still dirt, or maybe the warning track is still dirt. Not here. The warning track, the mound, the area around the plate, and the base paths, all artificial surface. No balls and 2 strikes. The count to Duncan. Through the stretch Brink, and he'll throw over to first, and nothing doing. Count still no balls and 2 strikes to Caleb Duncan, who was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the first inning. He's wearing a protective padding around his left elbow and upper arm area, and that's right where that pitch struck him in the first inning. Here's the pitch, big swing there, and he sends it back to the screen. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Caleb Duncan from Goodyear, Arizona, and he is playing in familiar territory. Speaking of this playing surface at Wichita State, he is a Wichita State Shocker. Assuming he doesn't leave, his final year here will be 2026. 0-2, there goes the runner. The pitch down and in, and there'll be no throw to second base. Boy, Cannon Cole did all he could just to keep that one from getting away from him. Otherwise, perhaps Ashton could have gone to third. Instead, it'll be a stolen base for Caden Ashton. And he's in scoring position now with nobody out. And a ball and 2 strike count at the plate to Caleb Duncan. So Brink will stretch and check the runner at second over his left shoulder. And the lefty looks back a second time, and he'll fire home. And the pitch swung on and fouled, back and out of play. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Caden Ashton stole 12 bases during the regular season for the Hayes Larks. So that stolen base moments ago was his 13th of the year. This is a team that likes to be pretty aggressive. They had 68 stolen bases during the regular season. A ball and 2 strikes. Brink looks back at second a couple of times, delivers home, and the pitch swung on and a bouncing ball to the mound. Fielded by Brink, he'll throw to first, and boy, had he looked over to third, I think Ashton would have been dead to rights. And Brink is now slamming his hand down on the rosin bag, and I think he realizes He might have had Ashton at third had he gone that way. Ashton was running on contact, and Brink picked up the ball on the third base side of the mound, but still didn't offer that way, didn't even look that way really. He went straight to first. He played it safe and did get the out for a 1-3 put out, one away, but Ashton is at third. Here's Wilbert Espinal, and the first pitch to him way inside for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. To his credit, Brink probably wanting to try to make the safe play right there, because if you don't get the throw at third, then all of a sudden it's runners at the corners and nobody out. So he was thinking conservatively there, which oftentimes can be smart, but it sure looked like a throw to third would have gotten Ashton at plenty of times. He was running on contact. The pitch is a slider in there. It's a strike. And the count at the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike to Wilbert Espinal, who walked back in the first inning. 1-0 the score. Hayes with the lead, bottom of the third inning. Through this stretch goes Brink. He won't look at the runner at third. He's not being held on, is Ashton. And here's the pitch home. Big swing and a miss at an 81-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Espinal. Garrett Gruel, the first baseman, waits on deck. Through the stretch goes Brink. Not much attention paid to the runner at third. The pitch swung on and missed. And there's strike 3. And down goes Espinal swinging. And that's a big strikeout right there, because now 2 away. The infield was not playing in this early in the game, but still the strikeout is huge, because now Air Capital doesn't have to worry about a ground ball to allow the run to score, or a fly ball caught in the outfield. 2 away for Garrett Gruel. Still no attention paid to the runner Ashton at third. And the lefty delivers to the right-handed hitting Gruel. And the pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Gruel is the one who hit the bouncing ball back to Zach Brink in the first inning, when Brink whipped around, tried to start a 1-6-3 double play, but threw low to second base. The ball trickled into center field, and that helped the only run of the game score. That's where we are now, 1-0 Hayes. The pitch just misses away. That one was close as Brink tried to paint the edge. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Garrett Gruel from Groesbeck, Texas, attending UT San Antonio, which is a program that is in the American Athletic Conference that Wichita State participates in. Ball and a strike. Runner at third, 2 outs. Hayes 1, Air Capital nothing. Time is called at the plate, and that's going to be a time violation on the pitcher, Brink. There's a pitch clock between pitches of 20 seconds, and if the pitcher is still on the rubber but hasn't thrown when 20 seconds is up, that's a ball. You've got to be ready to fire within that time. Here's the 2-1. The pitch swung on. High bouncing ball and a couple hops to third, and it's misplayed. And a run will score, and safe at first base is Gruel. On a high bouncing ball to third, Peyton White moved to his left, tried to play it off the short hop. It's a tricky play, and he couldn't come up with it cleanly. And it'll be runs scored for Hayes. They lead 2-0. Ashton comes home from third. We'll see if that's ruled as a hit or an error, but nonetheless, the Larks have grabbed a lead now. It's 2-0 after that high bouncing ball to third. So a runner at first now, 2 away for Thomas Lissy. Lissy takes his strike. It's 0-1 to him. Well, the degree of difficulty on that play, not that of the 6-4-3 started by Jack Martins in the last inning, but still not an easy play. The pitch low. It gets away from the catcher, Cole. There goes the run to the second. Cole throws him out anyway. Well, a nice job by Cole as it squirted away. A late start for Gruel. He's retired 2-6, and the inning comes to a close, but not before another run scored for Hayes in the bottom of the third inning. We'll head to the fourth. Larks 2, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Well, we have seen some nice defensive plays by this Air Capital team, this young team made up almost entirely of high school graduates from just this year against the Hayes Larks, a team littered with Division I college talent. But Air Capital has turned a couple of double plays tonight. And then that nice play to end the bottom of the third inning by the catcher for Air Capital, Cannon Cole, firing one down to second after a pitch that nearly got away from him to retire a runner 2-6. So as we go to the fourth inning, it's just Hayes 2 and Air Capital nothing. Nice job defensively tonight for Air Capital, and they'll have to now see if they can get their offense going. Carson Humphreys leads things off in the top of the fourth. And I think the timer has expired. There's a 90-second timer between innings, and this time it's the pitcher Lindbeck that wasn't ready, so it's 1 ball and no strikes when the clock expired, and now Lindbeck delivers a strike and it's 1-1. So each pitcher has not been ready when the timer expired. A ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. That one inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike to Carson Humphreys, the center fielder, who was caught looking in the first inning. One of 4 strikeout victims for Lindbeck on the night. The pitch swung on and a little too hopper off to the first base side of the mound. And Lindbeck is off the mound. He'll pick it up and underhand toss to first for a 1-3 putout to start the top of the fourth inning. 1 away. Well, that one had a lot of English on it. It was almost cue-sticked by Humphreys over to the side of the mound. And Lindbeck able to field his position well and underhand toss to first. So 1 away for Justin Zerger, the right fielder. And Zerger takes a slider at 68 miles an hour. It actually was a change with some movement. Nonetheless, 0-1 the count to him. Boy, did Lindbeck really take something off there. Now he comes back with something at 83 that misses up high. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Justin Zerger, the right fielder who flew out to right field his first time up in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zerger. Zerger from Newton, Kansas, just north of Wichita. Heading to Pomona College in California. The pitch misses, that's a ball. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Zerger just graduating a couple of months ago and California bound before too much longer. The pitch, change up, swung on and missed. Boy, he was way out in front of that one, and down he goes swinging for the 5th strikeout of the game for Blake Lindbeck. And that's out number 2. That is the first strikeout swinging recorded by Lindbeck. All of the other 4 were strikeouts looking. So 2 up, 2 down now, and here's Luke Youngdahl, the first baseman. And the first pitch to Youngdahl misses for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So 5 strikeouts so far for Blake Lindbeck, the New Mexico product. The pitch swung on and lifted into center field, shallow center field. Caden Ashton coming in. He's calling, he's got it, and the side retired. So Lindbeck has faced the minimum for the last couple of innings in a row now. And we will head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Hayes 2, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. From arts to attractions, nightlife to sports, you feel the energy at every turn. A little fancy, a little funky, but always friendly. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
Well, we've had a lot of low-scoring games so far in this 90th NBC World Series, and this one falling right in line with most all of the others. It's 2-0. Hayes Larks with the lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And it'll be Thomas Lissy that'll lead things off for the Larks. He was at the plate in the bottom of the third inning when Garrett Gould was thrown out at second base trying to advance after a pitch was low, and that put out went 2-6 to end the bottom of the third, so Lissy will start it again here in the fourth. Lissy, Houston Russell, and Will Carpenter, 5, 6, and 7 for the Larks, leading Air Capital by the score of 2-0. And the first pitch from Zach Brink to Lissy is a ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Lissy walked back in the first inning. Left-handed hitter really crowds over the plate with his stance over the front part of the left-handed batter's box. The pitch inside inside corner for a strike. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Brink is set, and the pitch home. Another one. This one is too far inside, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. The wind that was blowing out toward left field when the game started has died down almost completely as the pitch down and away for a ball. And it's now 3 balls and a strike. It was only about an 8-mile-an-hour breeze out of the south toward left field when the game started, but now the wind almost non-existent. The flag in right field is completely still. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that one misses. Ball 4. And a 5-pitch walk issued to Thomas Lissy to start off the bottom of the fourth inning. So he'll trot down to first, and that will bring Houston Russell up to the plate. Well, Zach Brink was really wild in the first inning. He hit a batter and then walked a couple more. And, of course, the error didn't help. That allowed an unearned run to score. Cooled down during the second and third innings, did his wildness, but he starts the fourth with a walk, and now Houston Russell, the first pitch taken, and that one is down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Russell. He grounded into the 1-2-3 double play that ended the bottom of the first inning. Brink will look at first, and the pitch, another one down and in, and a nice stop by Cole. There goes the runner to second. The throw and the tag, this time he's safe. And Lissy got in just in the nick of time. He got a late start, waited for the ball to trickle away from Cannon Cole. Had that throw been to the first base side of the bag, Lissy probably would have been thrown out as well, but it was to the third base side of second, and Lissy slid in safely. 2 balls and no strikes to Russell, and the pitch swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-1. So Lissy now at second base in scoring position. Nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. 2-0. Hayes with the lead. And Zach Brink, the lefty, will look back at second. Cheating in toward the bag is Drew Torgerson a little bit, but he'll go back to his normal position, and the throw is home, and it's way outside, and it's now 3-1. Houston Russell from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I mentioned in the first inning, he's playing collegiately at Purdue. 3 balls and a strike, and here comes the pitch to him. And this one, a changeup that's outside, ball 4. That one wasn't close, and Russell will go down to first base. So back-to-back walks issued by Zach Brink here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that's going to get his coach out of the dugout. There is not any activity down in the Air Capital bullpen. This might be a time filler to get some action started, but not at this point. I mentioned tomorrow that the first game will be at noon, Boulder Collegiate and the San Diego Stars. That begins what will be baseball round the clock. Yes, it returns to the NBC World Series, as there will be baseball games starting from noon tomorrow all the way through Sunday morning early on into Sunday night, with the last game scheduled to start at 6 o'clock. There will be games tomorrow starting, or at least scheduled to start, at noon, 3, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And then Sunday morning at midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., then at noon, 3 and 6. So baseball round the clock returns to the NBC. It's going to be a busy and fun weekend out here. Here's Will Carpenter, the second baseman, with runners at first and second and nobody out. The first pitch to Carpenter, he's showing bunt. He pulls back, but it is a strike, and it's 0-1. So Carpenter trying to put two runners in scoring position, looking to lay one down there, but he pulled the bat back on what ended up being a strike anyway. We'll see if he's offering again to bunt. He is. The pitch. He pulls this one back, and it is a ball. I believe that one was low. And the count is now 1-1 strike. Carpenter singled in the second inning, so a 1-for-1 start for his game tonight. And the pitch. He's showing bunt again. This one outside, and it's 2-1. Lissy, the runner at second. Russell, the runner at first. Both of them issued walks here in the inning. There is some activity now stirring down in the Air Capital bullpen. Bottom of the fourth, Hayes 2, Air Capital nothing. And the pitch. He's showing bunt again, and he sends it straight back to the screen, and that's strike 2, and that will likely take care of the bunt situation here for Hayes, as Carpenter could not lay one down right there. That was his best chance to. The only of his strike attempts on the bunt attempt that drew contact, but it went straight back to the screen. The count's 2-2. So here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that one is inside for a ball. Nobody holding the runners on at first or second. The infield is playing back, including the first baseman Youngdahl, as the Air Capital defense looks to turn a double play. They've already turned 2 twin killings tonight, so another one would be their third. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Chopped at the plate, foul. And it trickles behind home plate, and the count holds at 3-2 strikes. Tabor Stokes waits on deck. The Hayes Larks, one of the winningest teams in the history of this NBC World Series. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4, and a walk to Will Carpenter. That is 3 walks issued by Brink here in the inning. So down to third goes Lissy. Down to second goes Russell, and the walk to Carpenter sends him to first, and it loads him up for Tabor Stokes. But before Stokes will step up to the plate, the Air Capital Flyers will make a pitching change. So a timeout on the field. Hayes has him loaded, looking to improve on a 2-0 lead. We will take the timeout, come back with more in a moment. This is the 90th NBC World Series, and it's powered by Evergy.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
I'm bougie. I'm like $7 bougie.
The all-new $7 deal lovers menu at Pizza Hut. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
Because it's only a deal if you love it.
No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Well, Zach Brink was up and down through 3 innings plus a few batters in the fourth, but he has walked them loaded here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that means a new pitcher now for the Air Capital Flyers. And the pitcher is Truett Waringer. And he is a right-hander out of right here in Wichita. And he is also a member of the IMG Academy, who will then go to Virginia Commonwealth to wrap up his college career. So Wenninger, the right-hander, is on. And boy, you want to talk about stepping into the fire. He's going to face this Hayes team that's got the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning, with Hayes already in top 2-0, and now a chance to really blow this thing open. And Tabor Stokes, their shortstop, will step up to the plate. So it's a right-handed pitcher and a right-handed batter. Stokes stepping up now out of Mustang, Oklahoma, and playing collegiately at Hutchinson Junior College right up the road to the west. But before we get started, time has been called again. Cannon Cole, the catcher for Air Capital, wants to come have some final words with his pitcher before Wenninger throws his first pitch. Drew Wenninger is tall, 6 feet 3 inches he is, 190 pounds. He's got bright red hair coming out from his cap, and he'll work from the stretch. Nobody holding the runners on the first pitch. Swung on and missed, and that one was an off-speed pitch at 78, and Stokes was really fooled, so a good start for Wenninger as he's ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Lissy the runner at third, Russell at second, Carpenter at first, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth, the 0-1. And that one was in there at the knees. It's a strike and it's 0-2. Based on his facial expression, I don't think Stokes liked that call. He was taking, might have thought that one was low. So the count's 0-2. Through the stretch goes Wenninger, and the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that one was outside, but Stokes offered as he sure was fooled on that one, and down he goes, and Wenninger catches the ball from his catcher, and you can tell by his body language he is really fired up after that one. A little fist pump and 1 away, and a big strikeout that was. Here's Trent Baker, the left fielder now. Another right-handed hitter with the bases loaded, but now 1 out. Air Capital has already turned 2 double plays tonight. A third here would be huge. The pitch down in the dirt and away, and a nice job by Cole sliding to his right into the left-handed batter's box. He went, in fact, to keep that one from getting away, and a nice job. 0-1 the count to Trent Baker. Wenninger will stretch and deliver. And the fastball misses outside. Trying to paint the outside edge, just missed. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes. The wind has started to pick up again. The flag in right field blowing toward left field, so the wind, and it's actually a little bit heavier than it was before. The 2-0 pitch, that one way outside, and it's now ball 3. So that blowing wind will now favor right-handed hitters on balls hit out toward left field. And it started to pick up again. Right now, the problem for Wenninger is not the wind. He's down in the count 3-0 with the bases loaded and only 1 out. His team trails Hayes by the score of 2-0, and the Larks looking for more. Here's the 3-0 pitch, right down the middle. Only at 77 miles an hour, but he feathered it in there nicely, and the count is now 3-1. Youngdahl plays even with the bag over at first. The rest of the infielders playing at normal depth. Here's the 3-1. Down and away, ball 4. And a bases loaded walk issued to Trent Baker. And perhaps to make matters worse for Air Capital, that was the number 9 hitter in the order that just got walked with the bases loaded. So Baker gets the RBI the easy way. Lissy will score from third. Down to third goes Russell. Down to second goes Carpenter. And here's Caden Ashton, the leadoff hitter in the lineup for this Hayes team, now leading 3-0. And the first pitch to Ashton is a breaking ball that catches the outer edge at the knees. It's 0-1. So 5 base runners in the inning, 4 of them for Hayes, all of them via the walk. The pitch outside, that's a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. So it's been tough sledding for Air Capital pitching this bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-1 pitch. He tried to paint the edge with a fastball, and that one just missed. Outside to the left-handed hitter, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike. So Russell at third, Carpenter at second, Baker at first now. Infield still looking for a double play. Youngdahl still playing even with the bag at first. The pitch way outside, that one not close, and it's 3-1. And after a very good start to his appearance, when Tabor Stokes got struck out by Wenninger since has issued a bases-loaded walk, and he's on the verge of doing it again. The count is 3 balls and a strike to Caden Ashton. Wenninger stepped off from behind the rubber. Now he's back and toes it and goes through the stretch, and the righty delivers the 3-1, and that one is outside, ball 4. another bases loaded walk. That is the 5th walk issued by Air Capital pitching this inning. And it's now 4-0 Larks with the lead. Ashton gets the RBI, and scoring from third is Russell. Down to third goes Carpenter, and Baker makes his way to second base. And just now, activity starting to stir again in the Air Capital bullpen. Here's Caleb Duncan, first pitch swinging and sending one out into shallow left field. And it's the shortstop going back. That's Martins. The infield fly is in effect. Martins makes the catch. The batter was out anyway for the second out of the inning. Nobody advancing on that shallow fly ball to left. And 2 away now for Wilbert Espinal. So that was a big fly out right there for this Air Capital team and for Truett Wenninger. Base is still loaded now, 2 away, but Espinal, a very dangerous designated hitter for Hayes, and he'll take the first pitch inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Espinal, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He has struck out and walked. Left-handed hitter. And the pitch. Down and in again, similar location to the first pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Pretty open stance for Espinal. His back left foot is at the back of the batter's box. His front right foot is right about in the middle of the box. Halfway back and halfway from side to side. The pitch, and that one misses again, and it's now 3 balls and no strikes. And boy, is Wenninger having trouble finding the zone after that strikeout on the first batter he faced. We'll see if Espinal is taking it 3-0. He is, and that's ball 4, and another walk issued by Air Capital pitchers this inning. That is the 6th walk of the inning. It is now 5-0 as another run scores. No base hits for Hayes in this inning. 6 walks, and 3 of them with the bases loaded. So now the 9th man to bat in the inning is Garrett Gruel, and he first pitch swings and fouls one at the plate. It's 0-1 to him. So the Larks have batted around here in the inning, but they've done so with 6 free passes. Half of them have come with the bases loaded. 0-1 the count to Garrett Gruel. 5-0 Hayes, bases loaded with 2 outs. 0-1 the count to Gruel, and here comes a pitch. Swung on and a slow bouncing ball over to third on a few hops. Fielded at third by White. He'll throw low to first, but it's dug out by Youngdahl. Nice job by him for a 5-3 putout, and the side retired, but not before Hayes scores 3 without the benefit of a base hit. There were 3 bases loaded walks, 6 walks total in the inning. And we will go to inning number 5. It is Hayes 5. Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
And I have had a student in this very class. Wait. Jay was drawing some love now.
Well, the Air Capital Flyers escaped real damage in the very first inning of this contest. And then things settled down for them, but in that bottom of the 4th inning, the wheels really came off as their pitchers gave up 6 walks, 3 of them with the bases loaded, and now the Flyers have fallen behind the Hayes Larks by the score of 5-0, and Air Capital's got their work cut out for them now, down by 5 as we start inning number 5, and it's going to be the player that plays position number 5, Peyton White, the third baseman, that'll lead things off. And the first pitch from Blake Lembeck is in there for a strike, 0-1. And Lembeck doing what you would expect a veteran pitcher to do, granted a 5-0 lead. He comes out, throws a strike. But the next pitch, down low, that's a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Peyton White, who hit a ringing double to left field, his first and only time up so far. The 1-1, and that one in there for a strike. A change up at 69 miles an hour. White's double in the second inning was on a rocket launch, and it hit the base of the wall. He swings here, and the pitch is chopped foul over toward the third base coach's box, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He hit the bottom part of the wall on that double to left field. The ball caromed off of it back toward the infield, and it was an easy stand-up double for Peyton White in the second. He launched a rocket, too. Would have loved to have seen the exit velocity on that one. The pitch, a changeup, and way out in front is White, and he barely was able to get a piece of it and chop it foul at the plate. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5-0 our score. Hayes with the lead. The Larks looking for their 120th win in this NBC World Series tournament. Here's the pitch, a changeup. Boy, that one took forever to get there. 64 miles an hour. Boy, you want to talk about taking something off of it. That one took forever, but it missed. It's a ball, and the count's 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and another one driven to left field. This one not quite as deep. Trent Baker is there. He's got it. And a fly out to left field caught this time. And one away. So that'll get Max Brown up to the plate. Again, baseball around the clock tomorrow. The first game at noon. And all the way through Sunday night, there will be baseball played all the way up until the conclusion of Sunday night's 6 o'clock game. The first pitch, high and tight to Max Brown. The right-handed hitter takes inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch, that one inside, it nearly hit him. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. The 6 o'clock game Sunday night, by the way, will be a fun one. The Seattle Cheney Studs, who played and won last night, will be playing an exhibition game against Doc's Bombers. 2-0, and the pitch down low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Doc's Bombers is a group of local active duty military members. The game will be in celebration of the military teams who played in the NBC National Tournament in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. The pitch, that one's up high. It's a ball, ball 4. So a walk to Max Brown, and he'll trot down to first base with 1 out here in the inning. And that'll bring Brooks Allen, the designated hitter, up to the plate. So Allen, a left-handed hitter, right up at the front of the batter's box. The first pitch. And he will take, and that one misses down low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Allen. 5 runs on just 3 hits for Hayes. No runs and a hit for Air Capital. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss at an 81-mile-an-hour pitch that was tailing into the left-handed hitter, and the count is now 1-1. 1 error in the game charged to Air Capital as well, at least on the scoreboard. 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that one in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Liberal is the all-time leader in wins in this NBC tournament. They will play tomorrow. 202 wins for the BJs. 1-2, and the pitch swung on and fouled back. I beg your pardon, they don't play until Sunday, does the Liberal BJs. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Brooks Allen. 0 for 1, he grounded out to short in the second inning. Runner at first. 1 away, 5-0 Hayes. Top of the 5th, the pitch swung on and lifted the other way to left field. That's going to get down. That'll be a base hit. Oh, a nice job by Brooks Allen of going the other way and protecting the plate with 2 strikes. And he sends one to left with a 1-out base hit. Stopping at second is Brown. So first and second now for Air Capital with 1 away for Cannon Cole, the catcher. Boy, that is a nice piece of hitting right there by Brooks Allen. 2 outs, shortening up the swing, protecting the plate, and just punching one the other way. A little soft floater to left. And now time has been called, and there's going to be a conversation out at the pitcher's mound. I mentioned the Liberal BJs and their 202 wins in this tournament. They have a 662 winning percentage, which is not the top percentage, but their 202 wins is the most in tournament history, and it's not even close. There's going to be a pitching change being made. That's going to do it for Blake Lembeck. A bit of a jam here, so he will give way to the bullpen. We'll take a timeout. The score, Hayes 5, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
With Butler having such a small class size, everybody had a voice in the classroom. Everybody was able to participate. To this day, there are students that I took classes with 10 years ago that I could pick up the phone and call. That's how much the community at Butler has affected the way I even do my business today. When I went to another college to try it out, I was just a number. They didn't even know my name. Butler's class sizes are smaller. That's where you get that community feel. And cost-wise, a lot cheaper.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Second pitcher of the night for the Hayes Larks will be right-hander Nolan Wilson out of the bullpen. Wilson is out of Hockley, Texas. He is 6 feet, 210 pounds, and pitching collegiately for the University of Cumberland, so he will come on in a bit of a jam here with runners at first and second. Both of them obviously pitchers that Blake Lembeck is responsible for. One out here in the top of the fifth inning with the Hayes Larks leading by the score of 5-0. So it's up to Wilson now to try to keep this Air Capital team at bay that's been shut out so far with just 2 base hits, but they do have 2 runners here. And the first batter that Logan Wilson will face will be the catcher Cannon Cole, who walked his first time up back in the 3rd inning. So 5-0 our score. Hayes with the lead. The infield for the Hayes Larks will play back, looking for a bouncing ball double play. So nobody holding the runners on. All of the 4 infielders playing behind the bag. And the first pitch to Cole is a bouncing ball to third, and it's mishandled by the third baseman, Lissy, and everybody safe. It was pretty well struck, and on the second hop, it was a short hop. Lissy tried to charge in and play that short hop and perhaps start the double play, but it didn't get into the glove cleanly. It hit the heel of the glove and deflected off, and everybody's safe. So Brown to third. Allen to second, and safe at first base is Cole. They are loaded up with Air Capital flyers for Drew Torgerson, the second baseman. And the first pitch to Torgerson is a fastball inside at 87. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So an ominous start for the appearance of Nolan Wilson, a bouncing ball that winds up helping load the bases for Air Capital. 1 ball and no strikes to Torgerson. The pitch inside corner. That's a strike. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Drew Torgerson struck out looking his first time up. He was one of 5 strikeout victims for Blake Lembeck on the night. The pitch down and away. That's a ball. Good job by Houston Russell sliding to his right, keeping that one from getting away. So the count is now 2 balls and a strike. For Blake Lembeck, 4 strikeouts looking, only 1 strikeout swinging of his 5. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped foul at the plate. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Drew Torgerson, right-handed hitter. He graduated from Andover High School a couple of months ago, uncommitted collegiately. 2-2. Through the stretch goes Wilson, and here comes the pitch. Off speed, swung on, and he fouled it and tipped it into the glove of Houston Russell, and down goes Torgerson, so he has struck out looking, and that time swinging. And that's the second out of the inning, and that's a big one for the Hayes defense. Now they don't have to worry about a double play, and Air Capital sends it back to the top of the order with Jack Martins. Martins is 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded into a double play. The pitch misses outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 5-0 Hayes, but Air Capital with a chance here if they can get a 2-out rally to cut into the deficit. The pitch swung on and chopped at the plate, foul over toward the third base dugout. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. I mentioned earlier Jack Martins heading to Coffeyville Community College, one of a couple of players on his team that are doing that. Cannon Cole is the other. The pitch swung on and missed, and that's strike number 2. Slider at 79, and Martins was fooled on that one. So it's the shortstop and catcher tonight for Air Capital, both Coffeyville bound next season. 1-2 with the bases loaded. Big pitch here, and it swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Martins, and Air Capital, tough break there. They leave them loaded. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Hayes 5, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. From arts to attractions, nightlife to sports, you feel the energy at every turn. A little fancy, a little funky, but always friendly. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
Whether you're preparing a perfect meal, getting people back on the road, protecting online privacy, or supporting your patient's health, you want to be the best professional in your field. At Butler Community College, our focus is getting you the highly specialized and versatile training needed to start your career in as little as a year. Our classroom experiences are fine-tuned by industry professionals. You'll launch into the workforce with the confidence and skills to make you stand out from the rest. Butler Community College. Real college. Really affordable.
Way home from X Stadium in the final game of day number 2 of the 90th NBC World Series has the Hayes Larks on top of the Air Capital Flyers. 5-0 is our score, as 3 of the 5 runs for Hayes scored in the bottom of the 4th inning, all of them on bases loaded walks. There were 6 walks issued in the bottom of the 4th by Air Capital pitching, and 3 of them came with the bases loaded. So here come the Larks again, looking for more. And it'll be the first full inning for the new pitcher for this Air Capital team out there, and that is Truett Wenninger, and the first pitch he delivers is a ball missing to Thomas Lissy. And Lissy swings at the next pitch and sends it foul. On the count to him is 1 ball and 1 strike. Lissy, Houston Russell, Will Carpenter, 5, 6, and 7 for the Larks, trying to add to their 5-0 lead here in the bottom of inning number 5. A ball and a strike, and the pitch swung on and ripped down the right field line. Diving in right field is Zerger. He's not going to get there. It deflects off his glove. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. Rounding second, on his way to third is Lissy. He will get there easily, standing up with a leadoff triple. Well, he hit that one on a frozen rope, and Justin Zerger, the right fielder, was playing him to pull, but playing a little too deep. So as he dove forward, that one landed right in front of his glove, and it skipped off the top of the glove and rolled all the way to the fence. And that's an easy trot to third for Lissy. And so a leadoff triple here to start the bottom of the 5th for the Hayes Larks, and now Houston Russell, the catcher, will step in. The infield for Air Capital is not playing in. The first pitch to Russell is popped up over on the right side toward the dugout on the first base side, and it will land right over the railing and into the dugout on the first base side. It's interesting, down 5-0, that the Air Capital team is not playing the infield in, but they are not. Now, I will say that on this artificial surface, you can afford to play a little deeper, but still a little surprising. This pitch, way inside, so far inside, it went behind him. That pitch went behind Houston Russell. And a good job by Cannon Cole of catching it, preventing it from getting away, as that one went right behind the back. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch to Russell. Swung on and lifted to center field. Pretty well struck back into his right is the center fielder Humphreys. He will move back and track it down, but plenty far enough to get the run home. Here comes Lissy to score on an RBI sacrifice fly for Houston Russell, and the Larks have opened up now a 6-0 lead. Well, all that time talking about the infield not playing in, it was a moot point there because Russell gave that one a ride. He'll get the RBI. As coming home to score is Lissy. So a 6-0 Hayes lead. Here's Will Carpenter with the bases empty now and 1 away. And Carpenter lines one right to second base, and there's Torgerson to snare it about left shoulder high. Boy, that one was hit like a frozen rope out to second, but perfectly placed was Torgerson, who reacted well. And there's out number 2. So 2 outs now for Tabor Stokes, the shortstop, right-handed hitter. First pitch from Wenninger to Stokes is a slider that misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. So 6-0 Larks here in the bottom of inning number 5. The pitch, and that one is down low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Tabor Stokes, who is 0 for 2 on the night. He is grounded into a double play and struck out. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one is strike at the knees, right across, 2-1. The double play Stokes grounded into was that hot shot to second. Jack Martins made a great play on the short hop to start the 6-4-3 double play. 2-1, the pitch. And another fastball that catches the outside corner this time at the knees. Good pitch by Wenninger. Maybe he's found his groove now. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 6-0 Hayes with the lead. And the pitch, that one a little low. And the count's now run full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now time has been called. The home plate umpire is motioning, I think, to some fans that are walking around in center field. And they're asking them to clear the batter's eye area. In fact, that is exactly what's going on. Above the center field wall, there's another big green wall that's probably about 20 feet or so behind the fence, creating a nice backdrop, and there are some fans distracting it by walking. The pitch swung on and a bouncing ball over to third. Peyton White to his left has it. He'll throw to first in time. There's a 5-3 putout to retire the side. But the Larks able to scratch another run across on a triple and a sacrifice fly. We go to the 6th. Hayes 6, and they're Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. From arts to attractions, nightlife to sports, you feel the energy at every turn. A little fancy, a little funky, but always friendly. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
We're ready to start the 6th inning tonight from X Stadium. 6-0 is our score. The Hayes Larks with the lead. And so here we go with inning number 6. And for Air Capital, they'll get the inning started with Carson Humphreys, the center fielder, up. And the first pitch, Humphreys swings and misses at 0-1. And the next pitch is a slider down and away, but he offered, and Humphreys quickly behind in the count, 0-2. As working quickly now is Nolan Wilson, the righty for Hayes, out for his first full inning of work. And the pitch, boy, a bender right there, strike three. That looked like a sinker ball that started on the inside corner, and it didn't really have any turn to it. It just went from about waist high to knee high, right at the kneecaps on the inside edge of the plate. And watching the replay, yeah, that one didn't have any lateral move at all. It was, like I said, waist high to about knee high, although I think that Humphreys might have thought it was low. Nonetheless, a strikeout looking to start the sixth. Here's Justin Zerger taking the first pitch for a strike, and pitch number 2 is down and away for a ball, 1-1. And boy, Nolan Wilson is working very, very fast here in the top of the sixth inning. The 1-1 swung on and missed. That one was tailing away from the right-handed hitter, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's already thrown 6 pitches, it seems, in about less than 60 seconds. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one was another sinker and swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Zerger. So 2 quick strikeouts for Nolan Wilson here in the inning as he is just wheeling and dealing. And that one was another one that was a big bender from belt high to about ankle high, but it sure had Zerger offering, and it's 2 up, 2 down. Now Luke Youngdahl sends one over to second base. That one is caught on the fly, and a very quick 1-2-3 for Air Capital in the sixth. It seems like they just stepped up to the plate, and down they go in order. After 5.5 to score. Hayes 6, Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
I really hope it's like this everywhere, but I also really believe that it's special to Butler. Like, I feel like once you come in, it's a culture. Like, they really want their students to succeed. For me, talking to somebody that has come from a position like me where they were out of the game for a long time, it can change your life. It changed my whole path. Like, I felt like at Butler, I found my people.
Well, it seems like about 30 seconds ago that the Hayes Larks were batting in the bottom of the 5th inning, and after a very quick 1-2-3, the Larks coming back up now in the bottom of inning number 6. In the meantime, the Air Capital Flyers are going to send their 3rd pitcher out to the hill as we start the bottom half of inning number 6. It'll be the bottom of the order, Trent Baker, the number 9 hitter, to lead things off for Hayes in the bottom of the 6th inning, with the Larks leading by the score of 6-0, and they will look at, again, a new pitcher to start the inning. 6 runs on 4 hits for the Hayes Larks. No runs on a couple of hits for Air Capital. Each team has committed an error here on the night, and the new pitcher for Air Capital is Dagan Vinduska, and he is out of St. George, Kansas. Attended Rock Creek High School, where he graduated from just a couple of months ago, and he will pitch in the Jayhawk League. The Barton County Community College team will welcome him in this coming season for his junior college debut coming up in fall ball. And the first batter he'll face, again, Trent Baker, who takes up high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Baker. 6-0, Hayes with the lead. The pitch to Baker, and that one, a fastball with the letters, catches the outside edge. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Baker. Baker is 0 for 1. He is struck out and walked, and the pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vinduska is, as they say, a tall, lanky left-hander, 6'2", 170. The southpaw is, and the pitch outside for a ball, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He works from the windup, and here comes the pitch. Swung on and lifted, a high fly ball to center field. Tracking it down, though, is Humphreys. Back into his left a little bit, the center fielder is, and he catches it over the left shoulder for the first out of the inning. 1 away for the Larks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll send us back to the top of the order with Caden Ashton, the center fielder. Vinduska goes behind the rubber for a moment. rubs up the baseball, and now he toes it again, and here we go. Ashton up at the plate. Left-handed hitters had a busy night tonight. The first pitch up high for a ball. And the count is 1-0 strikes to Ashton. He's been on board twice tonight. And the pitch, it was almost a third time. He nearly got hit on the right shoulder, did the left-handed hitter there. Took one high and tight. It's a ball. 2 balls, strikes. Ashton walked and scored the last time he batted, which was 2 innings ago. The pitch here, chopped foul over to the first base side of the field, just outside the bag. Luke Youngdahl fields it in foul ground, the first baseman for Air Capital. And the count is 2-1 to Ashton. The pitch, inside edge, that's a strike, and the count is now 2-2. Caden Ashton struck out in the first inning, but he reached in the third and stole a base, and then he walked and scored in the fourth inning. The 2-2. Swung on, a little flare, shallow left field, but it's the shortstop going out, Martins, and he tracks it down and makes a nice running catch for out number 2. So Ashton was trying to protect the plate there with 2 strikes, got a piece of it, but not enough. And it was an easy track down by the shortstop Martins in shallow left field for out number 2. So a 2 away for Caleb Duncan. And the first pitch to Duncan, outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The Hayes Larks have not been retired in order so far tonight. The pitch chopped at the plate, foul. And it's 1-1. They did send only 3 batters to the plate in the second inning. One of them singled, but then there was a double play. So they sent the minimum up there, but they were not technically retired in order. But that's on the verge of happening here. 2 up, 2 down so far. The 1-1 pitch. A change up, and that one misses low. And the count is now 2 balls and a strike to Caleb Duncan. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but he's been hit by a pitch. And this offering here is ripped foul. Well out of play on the left side. That one sails over the Hayes Larks bullpen down the left field line in foul territory. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6-0 our score. Hayes with the lead, bottom of the 6th. And now Venduska steps off the rubber, adjusts his cap with his left hand, and he's back on and ready to go again. And the 2-2. Slider down and in. And that'll run the count full at 3-2. Air Capital will play at 6 in the morning on Sunday. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, ball 4. So a full count walk to Caleb Duncan. He's going to trot down to first. Yet another free pass issued by this Air Capital team with 2 outs. Duncan to first for Wilbert Espinal. So the Air Capital Flyers will very much be a part of the baseball round the clock with a 6 a.m. first pitch scheduled against Lone Star on Sunday morning. Here's Wilbert Espinal from the left side of the plate. Runner at first, 2 away. Hayes leading 6-0. And the pitch to Espinal might have been a pitch out, as rising up was Cannon Cole, but nothing doing over at first with 2 outs. Caleb Duncan was staying near the bag. So 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Espinal. Through the stretch, there goes the runner, and the pitch inside, and now Cole will throw down to second very late, and a stolen base for Caleb Duncan as the catcher Cannon Cole double clutched on that throw. I don't know if he didn't have a good grip on the ball or if he was waiting for his shortstop to cover the bag, but he almost fired, then he reared back and fired a second time and did release the ball, but well late, and a stolen base for Caleb Duncan. So Duncan swipes second. He's in scoring position. 1 ball and a strike, the count to Wilbert Espinal. Through the stretch goes Venduska, and here comes the pitch. Way inside for a ball. And the count is now 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 the count now. At the plate to Espinal. Through the stretch goes Venduska. Nobody holding the runner on at second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, or excuse me, the 2-1 pitch. Now it's 2-2. And the count is now even with a runner in second and 2 away. 6-0 Hayes. Larks looking for one more to get them to 7 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, or at least for now. The pitch chopped at the plate, foul. And the count still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The next game for Hayes is a much more comfortable start time for the Larks. They don't play until noon on Sunday, and they will face the Kansas Cannons. So if you ask these two teams, which of you would rather play at noon Sunday, you'd probably have Hayes and, if you ask these two teams which would you rather play at noon and which at 6, they'd both probably say noon. It'll be Hayes that plays at 6. The pitch, this one is swung on and driven to very deep right field. This one is back, and Zerger's not going to get there. It bounces off the fence. That's going to be an easy stand-up double. Here comes Duncan to score on a long double by Wilbert Espinal, and indeed it is 7-0 now. Hayes with the lead. And boy, did Espinal give that one quite a ride. About halfway between the 330 sign right down the right field line and the 375 sign in the power alley, so roughly about 350 feet. That one landed, bounced off the bottom of the wall, an easy RBI double for Espinal. He's out at second, and it's 7-0 Hayes. Here is Garrett Gruhl now. And the pitch to Gruhl, he slices one the other way, and that's going to tail foul. Down toward the bullpen on the first base side, it's 0-1 to him. And with 2 outs, Caleb Duncan easily able to score from second base on that long double for Wilbert Espinal, who picks up his first run batted into the ninth. 7-0 our score. Bottom of the 6th inning, Hayes with the lead. A ball and a strike, and here comes the pitch to Gruhl. That one is a fastball that's away. The count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Through the stretch, Venduska briefly peers back at second, throws home outside. And the count's now 2 balls and a strike. Couple of local teams will play tomorrow afternoon at 3. It ought to be fun. The Derby Twins from just south of Wichita and the Liberal BJs from southwest Kansas. The pitch high and away for a ball, and it's now 3-1. Talked about the Liberal BJs earlier. 202 wins in this NBC World Series. That is the most in the history of this 90-now-year-old tournament. A .662 win percentage. 3-1, and the pitch ripped into left field. That's down. That'll be a base hit. Rounding third is Espinal. He's going to try and score, and he will easily on an RBI single for Garrett Gruhl, and now it's 8-0 Hayes with the lead. So Gruhl gets the RBI single, and Espinal coming home from second, again running on contact, easily scores, as the Larks have padded their lead. So with the Larks up now 8-0, here is Thomas Lissy, the third baseman. Lissy will step in from the left side of the plate. So a lot of 2-out damage for the Larks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the first pitch to Lissy, inside for a ball. Nobody warming up in the Air Capital bullpen. It's all in the hands of Dagan Venduska. Part of the strategy in this World Series tournament is preserving your bullpen. So Venduska is taking his lumps, and he might have to take a bit more. Pitch inside for a ball. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Runner is short lead at first. Don't worry about trying to steal, up 8-0. The pitch inside edge, that's a strike, and the count's now 2 balls and a strike. Boy, you got to wonder if you're Air Capital too, how do you try to get your schedule and your body clock right now after this game that's going to end at around 11 o'clock and play at 6 a.m. Sunday morning. The pitch swung on. There's a little flare out toward short, and Jack Martins is going to move in and make the catch to retire the side, and out number 3. But a couple more score for the Larks in the bottom of the 6th inning. We go to the 7th, Hayes 8 and Air Capital nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it, because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Well, a nice job by the fans here at the NBC World Series. X Stadium hanging around in spite of this 8-0 game. A big part of the reason because got a local team playing in the Air Capital Flyers, but things not going their way here tonight. It is 8-0 Hayes on top of Air Capital as we're about ready now for the top half of inning number 7. Is now, if you're Air Capital trailing 8-0, what you're trying to do is build on some hopefully positive things to build on moving into Sunday morning's game. And Sunday morning early, by the way, Air Capital will take on Lone Star at 6 in the morning. That's the next game for them. First pitch to start the 7th inning is a swing and a miss. That is to Peyton White, and it's 0-1, the count to him, with his team only registering 2 hits so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed again, and it's 0-2. Adrian Nahar is the new pitcher for Hayes. He's thrown 2 strikes so far. He's a righty out of DeSoto, Texas, and the 0-2 is way outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. DeSoto, a suburb of Dallas, and Nahar is playing collegiately at Navarro Community College. He is 5'11", 200 pounds, and a righty. And the pitch swung on and missed. Nope, it was fouled at the screen. I beg your pardon. So the count holds. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 8-0 our score. Hayes with the lead on top of the Air Capital Flyers. And as that one was fouled at the plate, I think maybe the catcher, Houston Russell, might have been contacted with that one. So the home plate umpire is going to buy a little time and walk the next ball out to the pitcher to get Russell ready to go again. A ball and 2 strikes, the count to White. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and chopped up the third baseline. That one's going to stay fair. Licey charging in. He'll field and throw to first in time. And a nice play. 5-3 as White is retired. Nice job, though, by Thomas Lissy over at third for a one-away play right there. Charging up the line and playing the short hop. So 1 out. And that's a play that even is a slow bouncing ball on this artificial surface. You don't see much of that. You really have to hit it just right to not get that one to an infielder in a hurry. But it was a slow bouncer, and Lissy did a good job to charge and field in time. So 1 out now. Here's Max Brown, and the first pitch he sees is inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Brown. Brown walked back in the 2nd inning. He was able to reach successfully in the 5th. The pitch chopped at the plate, foul, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. 8 runs on just 6 hits for the Larks on the night. No runs, 2 hits for Air Capital. Each team has committed an error. Nahar ready, and the pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adrian Nahar works from the windup. He's out of the bullpen working in relief. Some players like to come in relief and work from the stretch even with nobody on, not Nahar. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. It was only at 81. He took something off, but a little slider had a tail at the end, and down goes Max Brown for out number 2. So 2 away here in the inning. And now up to the plate comes Brooks Allen, the designated hitter. Allen swings on the first pitch and bounces one out to short. Fielded there by Stokes, and a throw to first in time, and the side retired in order, and that is the ball game as the Hayes Larks have mercy ruled the Air Capital Flyers, and the final score is 8-0. For the Larks, 8 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. For Air Capital, no runs, 2 hits and an error, as this one, after a nice start, really got out of hand in the 4th inning when the Larks were able to score 3 times thanks to 3 bases loaded walks. They were walked a total of 6 times in that 4th inning, I beg your pardon, it was. So 6 walks in the inning, 3 of them were issued with the bases loaded, and that made it an easy night for Hayes, and they win by the score of 8-0. Blake Lembeck is the winning pitcher for the Larks, and they are now 1-0 in pool play in this NBC World Series. Zach Brink takes the loss for Air Capital in their first ever game in the NBC. Well, that'll do it for tonight. We'll get it started again at noon tomorrow with the Boulder Collegians against the San Diego Stars. But for now, my name is Steve Strain saying so long tonight from X Stadium. Once again, our final, Hayes 8 and Air Capital nothing. So long, everybody.
On the field for the Pinnacle Realty Group Player of the Game. And here's Andrew with our Player of the Game.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with today's Pinnacle Realty Group Player of the Game, number 26, Wilbert Espinal. Wilbert, you walked twice, had 2 RBIs, and scored 1 of the 8 runs today. Just walk me through your team's performance and how you think you guys did today.
I mean, we did really good. The pitching held it down. The hitters hit good. We executed our game plan.
What do you love most about the Hayes Larks?
Man, we bring the energy every day, man. I love it. We're a fun team to be around.
Your guys' fans always travel, come and cheer you guys on every year at the NBC World Series. What do you want to say to your fans here and your fans watching in Hayes right now?
Man, they don't understand how much we appreciate it. We love every single one of them. They're the best group, best supportive group we can ask for.
Yes, so they are. Ladies and gentlemen, your Pinnacle Realty Group Player of the Game, number 26, Wilbert Espinal.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for coming out. Day 2 of the 90th Annual NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Don't forget, baseball around the clock starts tomorrow at noon. We'll have Boulder Collegians versus San Diego Stars. At 3 o'clock, Derby Twins versus the Liberal BJs. 6 o'clock, Seattle Cheney Studs versus TPA Texas. At 9 p.m., Seattle Blackfins versus Santa Barbara Foresters. At midnight, Hutchinson Monarchs versus Tulsa Sandlot. At 3 a.m., GPS Legends versus Hayesville Aviators. At 6 a.m., Air Capital Flyers will face a Lone Star Baseball Club. 9 a.m. on Sunday, it'll be the Derby Twins versus Boulder Collegians.